hello, welcome back, or if this is your first time, hello and welcome. Today I'm doing something a little bit different. We will be focusing on love connection readings for Sun, Moon, or Rising signs in Scorpio, or your Venus sign in Scorpio should you cross watch. This will be for May 16th until May 22nd, 2021, and this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for you, which is totally okay. Take the things that are for you today and leave everything else behind. Let's get into your higher vibes. When we talk about love connection readings, we often focus on romantic love exclusively. And while that will come up a lot, know that we have love connections that are non-romantic, friends, family, self-love. So just pay attention to where and how things resonate for you today. If today's reading does touch on anything for you, please leave me a thumbs up. Any comments or questions you have down below, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, interesting. Also interesting how unevenly I laid this all out. All right. Overall energy here, we have the Eight of Cups. We are talking about not only walking away from things that are not serving us, but moving towards the things that inspire us, okay? Moving towards the things that make us feel really good, make us feel whole, make us feel seen and valued and loved. For them in this connection, we have the Ace of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the Devil. A little bit of Capricorn energy going on here. But this is a person who I think is working on changing their mindset about how they move through the world. They're somebody who are wanting to be moving more slowly, more deliberately, communicating in a more effective way. I think they are perhaps somebody who generally rushes into things and they're trying to kind of fight their nature in that way. For you here, Scorpio, Knight of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and the King of Swords. So I think you've got a crush on this person. You have a thing for this person. And I think it has to do with maybe the aloofness that they are going to be moving forward with for you here, where they're trying to move slower. They're not offering so much of themselves, of their time. As a Scorpio, you're living for that mystery factor. And like you're invested. With the King of Swords here, though, I do think there's going to be, or maybe you're in a bit of a mindset right now where it's like a very low bullshit threshold. You want things to still be clear. You want to know that if you're going to put any sense of interest into this, any sense of emotion into this, that things are very clear going forward, and you're not afraid to like cut them off if it seems like it's not going to be that way. In the connection, it's really interesting energy. We have the Sun, the Five of Swords, and the Two of Cups. This is two people who feel very good together, feel like they are meant to be bonded to one another, but both of you are fighting it, is the energy I'm getting. Both of you don't want to admit it to yourself. You don't want to admit it to each other, definitely, but you also don't want to admit it to yourself. Because for this person, it would mean admitting that they have found somebody they have a keen interest in faster than they want to, because they're trying to slow things down for themselves. And for you, I think there's just, some fear of exposing, showing your hand, having feelings, and like reciprocating feelings and feeling happy, and that feels unusual. So there's like, you're both sort of fighting it, but it naturally wants to come together here. So we'll do some clarifying and see what else we can figure out. This feels like a classic Scorpio love reading to me. But again, our charts are, complex. And if you're not somebody who's invested deeply in astrology or understanding your chart, you're so much more than the sum of your big three. And especially like your Venus sign becomes very important here, which can cause us to feel like we're fighting what we think is our nature, maybe. Let's look at this Eight of Cups. This wanting to walk away, but I don't think it's happening. Ooh, those just came right out. Hierophant, Three of Emotions. And the sun. Yeah, let's talk about the way we always do things, the way that we traditionally have always done things, and sort of fighting that because we're recognizing that they're not really serving us anymore. It's not really how we want to do things. I think right now, Scorpio, there's going to be some interest and focus on just moving forward on what feels good, which may not be how you normally do things. It may not be your usual MO. And I'd say you're probably confiding that in some people around you right now, but I think it's coming from a place of like you're feeling well supported in your life. So you're just trying to like go with the things that feel really good for you. It's interesting. I like this little connection. Let's take a look for them at the devil. Okay. Cards know what they want. The Star, the Empress, and the Eight of Emotions coming up again. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fighting nature going on here. This person tends to get really fixated on, you know, if they have interest in somebody, they give all of their interest to them. But I think this bond, this relationship in general is hitting them a little bit differently. It's making them feel differently. It's making it difficult to follow through on the promise they had to themselves to like take things slow. It's going to have them feeling like they need to push themselves away from you or move away from you to slow things down because they're trying to be true to themselves, and what they're telling themselves is like, we always rush in, we always, you know, get too much, too fast, too invested, too quickly. And I see myself doing that with this person. I don't want to do it, so they're trying to push you away. There's a lot of fighting with yourselves going on here, and it's not like that you're even talking to each other about it. You're each having this internal battle about how you don't want to connect with one another, even though you do. Let's look for you at this Eight of Wands. Justice card, Nine of Materials, and the Seven of Materials. Yeah, Scorpio, I think you're probably feeling really good right now about your own personal growth, about your independence. I think there's probably going to be some fear for you here that, you know, exposing your heart, allowing somebody else in might jeopardize that sense of independence, that sense of self-growth that's going on, that you may end up being unfair to yourself or abandoning yourself in some way, which is, again, why you're going to be feeling okay with, like, you know, off with their head. If they're not at the first sign of trouble, I'm like, I'm so out because I don't want to risk being exposed. Having my heart exposed, having my heart broken. Scorpios get such a bad rep, but you're such sweet folks in my experience with Scorpionic people. All right, let's take a look at the connection, this funny connection that we don't want to happen, even though it's happening and we're feeling really into it. We'll look at this Five of Swords. Page of Voices, Seven of Voices, Ten of Voices. Yeah, you both need to let go of your preconceived notions of how you're each going to hurt each other or how you're going to get hurt by one another. You need to stop lying to yourselves about your interest in this connection. Sometimes connections come out of nowhere. They surprise us. How quickly we become interested in them surprise us. I think a major problem the two of you are facing right now is that you're not communicating about what you are feeling, which of course, if it's somebody you don't really know, you're just getting to know one another right now, you're not going to feel maybe comfortable to be vulnerable with them to talk about it. But this not talking, this trying to fight against something that when you're together feels really natural is going to cause more personal stress for you than it's going to put stress on the relationship. And you may end up, you know, losing something that is really great. We'll take one last message from Spirit here for you. Page of Cups, Nine of Swords, and the Lovers. Yeah, there's interest here, but again, you're both dealing with your own demons right now in some ways, and with your own expectations of yourself. And when you meet and come together, it's going to feel really natural. I think it's going to feel like you fit together. You have the Lovers and the Two of Cups coming up here. There's going to be a very strong connection, a strong pull to one another. And this fighting it is going to cause both of you stress and pain. So, you know, either take a deep breath and go with it, or have a conversation about your concerns, maybe about the pace with which you want, because I think both of you want it to go slowly, and you're fighting that because when you're together, you feel like you want to go quickly. So you need to have these conversations with one another, because if slow is what you both want and need, that can work here. Obviously, there's attraction. Obviously, there's connection. So, don't mess it up for yourself by not speaking about it. I hope this is helpful, Scorpio. If it was, do leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next week.